Hey guys, it's Tony Gillespie from the Village Folk, and today we are going to be doing a new segment called Records Around the USA. What I'm going to be doing is each time I get a new record in the mail, I'm going to unbox it for you guys, talk about it a little bit, then I'm going to show you on the map where the record was shipped from. With the goal being, obviously, to fill up the map, get at least one record from every one of the 50 states, and to show you how folk music is universal. It can come from a small town in Mississippi as easily as it can come from a big city in California. I'm dedicated to going to all of those places, well, through the mail anyway, and getting records and preserving that folk history. Okay, guys, let's get right into it. First, I wanted to point out that on the map, Indiana is already colored in. And the reason is because I live in Indiana. That's the state that I live in. So all these records are coming to me in Indiana. And as you can see, folk music is already in Indiana. As you can see my collection, some of it behind me. So that's why Indiana is already marked off the map. But let's go ahead and get started with our first package here. Okay, let's see what we got. We'll be surprised together. Okay, remember ordering this. This album is Joan Baez' self-titled debut album. As you can see, it's on the Vanguard label. Catalog number is VSD 2077. This was recorded in around 1959. It was released in 1960. This isn't the original version. The original is, I believe, a black label or a tan label. It was released in 1960. This is the reissue on the orange label that came out around 64, I believe. But the reason why I bought this particular copy is the album cover is in the shrink wrap, and I'm kind of a sucker for the shrink wrap. I just think that it looks nice, and it keeps your record cover a lot better preserved. Of course, I mean, this is still a 50-year-old album, so for it to be in that good of condition. Here are the songs. All the songs that Joan did on this first album were traditional songs. There may have been one or two that was written by a contemporary, but I believe most of them, if I'm not mistaken, I think All My Trials was a more contemporary one. But all the rest of them were traditional songs that she did. It was Joan and her guitar and her vocals. And then the second guitar on the album was Freddie Hellerman, who was the guitar player and singer on the Weavers. He was a part of the Weavers. He does second guitar on a lot of the songs. If you don't have this album, it's one of my go-to albums. I have a few albums that when I just want to listen to something that's a little bit more comfortable and that I know well, I grab for this. Is one of the albums that I grab for. So it's a really good album. I highly recommend it. And now let's see where it came from. This package came from Cambridge, New York. Cambridge, New York. So we're going to mark off. We're going to mark out the New York state, because that's our first state on our Records Around the USA tour. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that out, and I'll be right back, and I'll show you the results from that. All right, guys, there it is. Right there, New York. We did it. So, our first album was Joan Baez, self-titled debut. I highly recommend it. Go out and find yourself a copy and listen to it and see some of the folk roots Joan Baez got her start, of course, in '59 on the Newport stage. Bob Gibson donated a few minutes of his time so that Joan could come up there on stage, and that began a very great career for Joan. And also, a couple years later, Joan repaid the favor on the Newport stage and brought Dylan up. So, you know, without Bob Gibson kind of paving the way for Joan to come up, and her paving the way for Dylan to come up, who knows the direction of folk music. So it's a very important album, and I highly recommend it, and I think you should go check it out. Thanks, guys. That's going to do it for us today for our first segment of Records Around the USA. Join back when we get some more mail, and we're gonna click off this map together. So thanks for joining me. Make sure that you like the video if you like this segment. Subscribe if you haven't. Tell some friends about it, because we need to grow this page. We need to grow this YouTube channel. And also, if you want to come over and check us out over on Facebook, we are there. And I'll leave the links coming up next, but I'll also put it in the description. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll talk to you next time. See ya.